Hi. Adjusting shit as we're going live, apparently.
Oh yeah, we're going live now.
But anyways, okay, that's good to know. Good to know. I'll make note of that. Anyways, welcome everybody to the Infernal Brotherhood of the Scruffy Looking Nerf Herders. This is in fact a live YouTube vidcast about Star Wars by Star Wars fans and blah blah blah. You know the drill. Anyways, it's HoloNet news. Let's talk some cool shit today.
This is going to be great.
Fucking stoked for this first one.
This is going to be great. Okay, so we're going to be covering stuff from TV, from books and comics, games and toys, and you like broke out some Make Adam Cry material right before we went on air.
I totally did. I got him a little Rancor.
It's fucking amazing.
Because I saw one and I had to get one, and I was like, "Oh, there's two. I should get Adam one." And apparently, it about killed him.
It's fucking amazing. Just amazing. That's why I love you. You think about me when you see Rancor.
The joy of Legos.
You think, hey, Adam. We got a lot to talk about. Let's start with the most important, perhaps, news. Which is
fucking Mandalorian. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm so excited.
So the rumors are true, people.
Yeah.
It's gonna be about Mandalorians.
True. It's all true. Jon Favreau putting this together, but the first director of the pilot oh shit, I thought I hit pause. I'm new to this whole internet thing. Oh shit.
Wait,
it's not working, dude. Okay.
Is it like all around us or something?
They're tubes. They're everywhere. Dave Filoni's directing the first episode, which is huge, considering he's never done live action anything before. And to be trusted with the first episode.
Well, I mean, I think he's got an okay track record.
Why is this not pausing?
It might be alright.
There. Okay. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, he definitely has live. I mean, he has. He's like sort of the new Disney version of George Lucas in that he studied under George Lucas. He mentored with him all through Clone Wars and partially through Rebels, maybe all the way through Rebels. But like, he's the closest thing to having George himself produce content, and just to think that he's breaking into live action
without being crazy.
Right. And I don't know, man. And this is the thing. Like, George gets a lot of flack for having these wild, crazy ideas, but this is his films are great.
He did create it. Yeah.
His non-Star Wars films, I think, are just great. Like, he's done nothing but good work, but he does have a reputation for whatever reason for kind of being out there. Where do you think that comes from?
Oh, for me personally, the reason why I think he's crazy is just like the weird decisions he'd make in the lexicon of the books and all that stuff. Like just random shit, like Plagueis. Plagueis got pulled for almost 2 years because he just decided, nah, I don't want to release right now. Just weird shit like that, and changing character names, which changes the entire fucking storyline of said books. But yeah, I mean, he still gave us Star Wars, so you know. It kind of balances out, I guess.
Yeah. And I wonder if some of that is him trying to make sense of... Because if you think about any type of world building when it comes to an amalgamation of film and print, there's nothing like the Star Wars universe.
No.
Like, at all. And so he really did sort of... And to this day, there's nothing that's been able to do with any sense of any continuity like Star Wars did with now Legends and with current canon. So to think that there's not going to be a few missteps along the way, or he has to sort of pull back here in order to pay service here, like, to me, that just makes sense. Like, no one else has ever done it. No one else can do it. Even monsters like Marvel, Disney don't even dare try it because they know they couldn't ever pull it off. So, like, you know, I don't know. I think he gets a lot of flack when we should probably be really cool with him.
No, trust me. I like him.
Oh yeah.
He's okay in my book. He's just crazy.
What do you think?
He's a genius, so he should be.
What if like Disney let him back into direct a movie, like to write and direct a movie?
I'm pretty sure there would be semen all over the monitor right now. Just my dick would explode. Like I wouldn't even function anymore. Yep. It looked like a fucking demigorgon or something.
I do have to give a quick shout out. Hi, Shauna, in the chat room. I think I've met you before. I'm not sure. Wondering where a Jana is. Because no one else tunes into this shit.
Too good for us.
All right, so I'm excited because if Dave Filoni can break into live action in this case, and he does really well with the pilot episode of this brand new series, I mean, what the possibilities? Now he can move into film. Now he can do his own live action TV. Maybe we could get the Ahsoka / Sabine searching for Thrawn and Ezra film.
God, that'd be amazing.
Like, what if that is the lead-in to a new trilogy about a Chiss trilogy, you know? Like, that would blow my mind.
God, that'd be amazing.
He's the one that brought that back. So who else but him to pay it forward?
At least have him on his writing staff.
Yeah. Oh, God damn it. Oh, man, the possibilities are just so wonderful. But we've got directors like... Well, do you want to name out directors and stuff?
I'm going to slaughter most of them. But yeah, so, of course, we got Filoni doing the first episode. We've got Deborah Chow from Jessica Jones that's going to be doing an episode. And this is just the only directors that Star Wars has announced so far. We got Rick from Dope. Bryce Dallas Howard from Soulmates. Never seen that one, so I can't.
First of all, she's amazing. Like, she was, she's the lead female in Jurassic World and Jurassic Park movies, the new two that are out. So she's, Ron Howard's daughter. Like, she's amazing. So I didn't know she directed Soulmates. I didn't know she directed anything before. I thought this was like her first go.
Right. That was, same here. I'm like, oh, that's a cool first thing. Oh, wait, it says credits. Never mind.
I'm going to have to see.
That would definitely be one hell of a way to break out into directing. Like, I'll just do a new fucking Star Wars thing. Why not?
But again, she's got a legacy. She literally grew up with LucasArts, Lucasfilm, and George Lucas. Ron Howard and George Lucas have a intimate relationship as friends since way back in the day. And so she's got, and her dad, like, she has someone that she could just call and say, hey, what do you think about this decision? Or how could I improve this or not? And he would just be like dropping a hat. Like, of course, I'll help you. I'm your dad.
Yeah. And I think we could trust him.
Yeah. Absolutely. After Solo? Fuck yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, after everything he's done and
yeah, I was going to say, that Solo's the big one. That's the real notch in the cap. He did that, and we didn't crucify him. So,
fan service movie of all, like, oh, goddamn.
Yeah.
So this last one I'm kind of excited for.
Yes. Go ahead and say it. What is it, Adam?
Taika Waititi.
There we go.
I think. Yeah, so he did Thor Ragnarok, which was amazing.
Yes, the only Thor movie that was watching.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I totally agree with you.
Loved it.
It was great, and like, he's not just comedic. Like, he is. I don't know his filmography background intimately because I haven't seen it the previous movies, but I've heard from many people that they're not the same. It's not as jokey as Thor Ragnarok, and he's a serious filmmaker, and so I'm really excited. One thing? Well, let me ask you. As far as tone goes, what makes a Star Wars movie, and in this case, a Star Wars TV series, the first live-action series ever of Star Wars, what would make it feel like Star Wars to you? What tone do they have to hit?
Shit, that's a heavy question. I mean, obviously we got to have, like, there has to be just massive scope going in. Like, I almost wonder if they're going to open it up, like most of the movies where we're set in space and coming to either a ship or a planet just to set the full scope of it. Fuck, I don't know. I'm actually getting choked up on this. I don't know.
I mean, for me, we have to have humor, but I don't want over-the-top humor. Just the look of it, it's very grounded and, it looks like a normal TV Western set like you'd see in like Firefly or anything else. which I'm really excited for. But if we can get a little bit of humor, this is a really gritty time for the universe too, because we're transitioning from a authoritarian, tight-fisted rule to a softer, more inclusive, politically say what you want, it's more of a leftist approach to governing a galaxy. So there's going to be people taking advantage of it. So I want to see criminal elements, and that has to be the dominant, right? Because if you take a hands-off approach to governing, then that leaves the door open for criminals to step in and rule. So there's got to be. And then there's got to be a legacy. We have to tap into the Mandalorian legacy, which, if you're familiar with the Clone Wars at all, and then a little bit later with Rebels, maybe, equally, they defined what Mandalorian meant. And so, what do you think about this? Because this is something that I've been thinking about a lot. When, why can't I think? When Jon Favreau announced this through his Instagram account with this very photo, and it was a photo of the like a crawl, but it was just his explanation or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But it talked about Boba Fett and Jango Fett. They weren't Mandalorian by all canon up to now. So by calling them out, is he just trying to reference for non-canon junkies, like the average person, like, okay, we're in the same vein of these characters? Or is he trying to connect with the real Star Wars-y side of us? They're saying, well, this is not a Mandalore. He's wearing the armor, and he's claiming to be the Mandalorian.
I didn't even actually know that this one was supposed to be the Mandalore, so that's...
Yeah, I mean, the title is The Mandalore.
No, it's the Mandalorian.
Right. No, you're
the
right.
Mandalorian and the Mandalore are two different things.
You're absolutely right. I'm sorry, that's not what I was meaning.
I don't know where Boba Fett and Jango stand, though, as far as what's considered canon now. Because even though Boba was, not Mandalorian born, like, it's the name. That's what being Mandalorian always was. Like,
George was saying in old canon that Jango was not a Mandalorian. Like, he wasn't from that place. He just had the armor, and he was a really effective bounty hunter.
Damn, that's news to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to, canon junkies search this up, but straight up, like, he was never considered a Mandalorian. He just, sort of connected with the armor, and he was really good, and so he was sort of adopted into the culture. He was never from there. Boba Fett, of course, being the son of Jango, who was adopted into the culture, and who also had similar armor, was just assumed, but they have no direct Mandalorian lineage. And it makes me wonder, is this going to play on the idea of what it means to be a Mandalore?
I really think it will. And I mean, this is probably just me thinking way too fucking much into just the single picture that we've gotten so far. But if you notice the armor, like, it's all mixed matched. And there's two ways of looking at that. Either he's a scavenger and he raided Mandalorian site, or if you go with the context of legends, which of course we don't know where this stands right now, those could also be plates of his loved ones, because in Mandalorian culture, like, you would do that. You would swap out plates. That way, you have your family protecting you and you're protecting them even when you're apart. That's so cool. I'm really curious to see how that plays into it.
Yeah. I have so much high hopes. It's rough because when I think of Star Wars, I can't help but think of the Skywalker saga, because that's what we grew up on. That's what Star Wars defined Star Wars, literally. Yeah. And I was so incredibly disappointed with the last Skywalker saga film that even though we had great films like Rogue One and Solo: A Star Wars Story, I'm still a little bit down on what Star Wars is, where I want it to be, where it has been my entire life, and where I currently see the main film saga existing. When I see something like this, I'm more excited for this TV series than I am the next episode, like the final concluding episode of the Skywalker saga.
Same here. As much as I can appreciate him, because some Star Wars is better than no Star Wars. It's how I just have to look at everything. This is something they can go wherever the fuck they want with it, and it doesn't matter because you got a cool guy with a sweet helmet probably fucking shit up.
Well, and they can keep it like super small and episodic, like Star Trek episodes. You know, you go to a new planet and a new little situation arises, or they could keep it grand. Like, here's the thing: this is the New Republic era. Like, there's going to be HoloNet news, just like ours right now, of propaganda.
Hey, we'll be on it.
Yeah, baby. Of propaganda where, you know, they're talking about Mon Mothma has decreed that there will be no official fighting force for the New Republic, and each system is responsible for their own protection. And like, there's going to be a lot of stuff like that where you're going to hear name drops of heroes. Leia has to be mentioned in some capacity, right? Like,
of course.
She's a hero. Luke Skywalker has to be. So this is, I've been thinking about this, and this is sort of my little geek dream. We run across Luke Skywalker, but they never address who he is. Like, he is just in the... Maybe he's even the focus, like a B character or a B story in one of the episodes, but they never literally say who he is. He just sort of, you know... And maybe even that Mandalorian helps him in one of, you know, his sort of, like, adventure-seeking moments, and, you know, force collection, whatever, but they never say he's Luke Skywalker. They just say, you know, this rogue or whatever. Like, I would fucking die. I would die. And the thing is, you could do that with this, pay massive fan service, and for the regular, you know, TV viewer, just be like, oh, that's cool. You know, they went on a weird, you know, archaeology adventure for weird Force artifacts. Never have to see a lightsaber, but it's Luke Skywalker. Like, the possibilities.
Well, the nice thing is, too, with this era, they could also bridge in some of the stories that we don't have, too. Like, because really about everything's been focused on the government itself, becoming itself. So, like, Luke having backstory, oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Oh, I would lose my mind. And it wouldn't even have to be centric around him, you know?
No.
And what if we get, like, people like Cad Bane back?
Yeah.
You know, criminal bounty hunter, crime lord presences that had significance in Clone Wars and Rebels. Hondo. Like, what if Lando showed up? Like, he's a straight up criminal. Gambler, scoundrel. Would it be cool to have like a story arc of just about the Hutts?
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're still a huge crime presence. Oh, God. There's so much about this. I'm going to lose my mind if they just keep it, you know, like Kung Fu, where it's just one dude going town to town but have no connection to the greater Star Wars canon.
Yeah. This could be like the best spaghetti western ever.
Like, seriously, this could be everything that everyone was excited about for Firefly except in the Star Wars universe.
And with money, so it won't go away. Like,
massive amounts of money. They could do and the graphics, like the special effects and stuff. Fuck, they could. This is like 10 one-hour movies, like high production Game of Thrones level movies. Oh, god damn. So would you be more excited? I know we're spending so much time on this one topic.
No, we should. This is a pretty fucking important one. Like, I've been dying to talk about this.
Okay, so where was I going to go with this? I lost my shot. I fucking lost it. I was walking too far on the technical side of things, and I totally lost my train. I genuinely want to see, more than anything else, this to be B stories. Oh, here's what it was. Okay. Would you prefer this to focus on Mandalorian culture and people, or would you prefer it to focus on the misadventures of an exiled Mandalorian?
Honestly, the latter. Especially with how they're building it up, that it's the Mandalorian. Yeah. Like, it would just make more sense. I mean, I'm obsessed with Mandalorian, so I mean, I'll take whatever I can get, but I think it could be more fun to have just a sole character on the fringes trying to find his way, essentially, versus focusing mostly on the culture and the people.
And do you think the wider galaxy understands what Mandalorian culture is, because to be fair, all the references that we've gotten is you have it's all, you know, Civil War type stuff within its own culture. Like they had the Black Watch, but again, you know, it was like a criminal syndicate side of the Mandalorians, but they were just trying to overthrow the current government.
Yeah,
so,
they wanted to go back to their primal way of living versus.
Yeah, and here's the weird part, right? Because we've never had any storylines where they've actually gone out and conquered other cultures or other planets or other locations. But that's supposedly their heritage. So does the wider galaxy even know about Mandalorian culture?
Well, I guess we'll find out. I mean, from my understanding, post the Mandalorian War, like the Clone Wars era stuff, not really, because for the most part, the entire government fell, the civilization fell, and they just kind of scattered.
Yeah. I feel like they're kind of like the samurai.
Yeah,
like,
I can totally see
like
it.
in their mythological import, you know, like a samurai warrior serves their master, but they are a feared, talented, and skilled killer. Like I kind of feel like that's what Mandalorians, like as far as rumors across the galaxy, would be. So you see a dude like this stepping up in a bar asking for some blue milk, you're like, oh shit, someone's gonna die around here. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm so so what I want to see, aside from all the geeky stuff, I want to see this feared presence of Mandalorian, like help this small outpost fend off a greater criminal gang, and then like a kid come up and like rest their arm, like thank you, sir, and like an old spaghetti western, and just have that moment of you know, this sort of rebel hero, and he's like, no worries, kid. And the kid just looks at him like, oh, I want to be like you. And he goes off into the sunset and fights another day. I want that so much. And I'm sure we're going to get it, but I'm just so excited.
Yeah, I think this is definitely an IP that they can go with wherever they want, and it's just going to turn out great.
Well, and that's
I really
the thing.
believe that.
Like with any TV series, you can have your A stories that sort of run the focus. And I think no one did this better than X-Files, where you have your mythology and then you have like one-off episodes. That's like a perfect.
It'd be so amazing too if they did like their one-off episodes, but actually like in lieu or in the vein of like X-Files, where they have just their random artsy fartsy nonsensical black and white episode.
Oh my
has
god,
nothing to do with anything. Oh my god, that'd be so amazing.
See, and I'm one of those characters that loves, like when American Horror Story did like a whole musical episode. Like not a whole episode was musical, but they had this entire sequence that was just musical, where everyone was like dancing and singing in an insane asylum for no reason at all.
I love that.
Like that was like the greatest thing for me. If we just had like random stuff like that for an episode, I don't know if they would dare do that in the first 10 episodes, but maybe the second season they could stretch their legs a little bit. Paying service to the fans for something like this is more important than bringing in new fans, in my opinion. And knowing that the Star Wars fan base is so multicultural, is so multi-genre in their love and appreciation, simply because, you know, we're the nerds, we're the geeks, we have strange interests. I just think
the nice thing with their series so far, I mean, even the new movies, like you don't have to be one of us. You could just be some guy that's, you know, flipping through the channel. It's like, The Mandalorian. I have no fucking clue what this is. Let's watch it, and instantly be, you know, brought into it. So I think that's where they're going really well with it. Is they're making it approachable for everybody.
See, that's an interesting idea, because I did not consider that at all. I always thought that if you're thinking of Star Wars as a regular average person, like a non-person like us, as far as Star Wars love, you think of the movies. Like, oh yeah, that's the sci-fi series, like, of movies, whatever. You're not really thinking of TV, and you're certainly not thinking of streaming service exclusive, you know, Disney Channel type live action TV stuff. So are they even going to try with this live action series to reach non-Star Wars fans? Are they just going to cater explicitly to Star Wars fans?
I don't think it'll make a difference, honestly. Like, if the story's clean, if the story's there, everybody's going to want to watch it.
Yeah.
Regardless whether you know anything about the mythos behind the Mandalorians or anything. Like, I mean, look at that fucking silhouette. You just look at that and you're like, fuck, I need to know what that dude's going to do.
Mm-hmm. Like, is he just looking for some, like, wild frogs to eat for lunch? Or is he hunting someone? Like, I'm so excited to find out if he's...
I'd watch him hunt frogs. I don't give a shit.
I totally would, too. I'd watch him fishing. I can't... Like, playing golf, I would watch him. That's interesting, because what if... I just want to know who he is. Not who he is, but what his place is with the culture of Mandalore. Like Mandalorian culture. I keep saying Mandalore, and I'm totally screwing that up, so the Can Junk is going to freak out. Mandalorian culture, because I want to know if he's in exile. I want to know if he has a familial connection on the planet with a clan. I want to know if we're going to visit Mandalorian planet, like Mandalore. I want to know if there's going to be a connection if we ever see a Darksaber, even if it's just like a picture in the background. Like, what if we start off world in criminal world, and then suddenly he's pulled back into Mandalorian culture, and we have to deal with whatever that is. Like, it's just so exciting to think of the possibilities.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
My biggest thing is I just want to know what the... I don't think they're going to delve too much into it, but I really, really hope they explain the Mandalorian culture more. Yeah. Like, God, because there's just so much mythos behind it, and it's so badass that, like, at least tip the hat to it once or twice in the series.
And there's no other culture that we've ever been introduced to in the Star Wars universe that is more like Game of Thrones, political, clannish. Like, it is very sort of Viking, Celtic, British Isle, Germanic tribes type stuff. Yeah. Like, and for anyone who just loves that sort of fantasy element, well, that's the Mandalorian culture. And so that's where your tie-in to this sci-fi fantasy is. Okay, so we've almost been going a half an hour just about this one thing. So when it starts, holy shit, wait for us to just really go off. So maybe we should move beyond. We started, so Star Wars Resistance is a thing, which was your opening comment to our first review. So this is a thing now.
Yep. I stand behind that statement. It is definitely a thing.
It is absolutely a thing. And now that we know this is a thing, we're going to be doing reviews for it. We already released the first review for the first episode. We have the next 2 episodes lined up for release tomorrow and then next week as the episodes are released. I'm really not sure I'm going to follow this series. The more I think about it, the more I'm just like, maybe not.
Yeah, like I can see if it was on like Amazon or something where I can rent the episode for $1 or $2. I'll totally follow it, but changing my TV plan or getting a streaming service just solely for this, no.
Yeah. And most, like, when I got like the first season of Rebels or Clone Wars for iTunes, it was like $30. This is $40 on iTunes. I'm not, with what I've seen in the first 3 episodes, I'm not convinced that it's worth that extra $10 in order to invest to bring the greater audience of my wife and your wife like reviews on a regular basis. I don't know. I just don't, like, they have to have some real insane stuff in the next 5-6 episodes for me to like turn around and say, okay, I'm in.
Yeah. I mean, they dangle the carrot in episode 2. Fucking episode 3, man, lost me so much.
Absolutely.
It's just like, all right, so the previous series, it's always been geared towards kids. We know this, we accept it, we expect it, and we know that season 2 is going to be amazing, because that's just how it's been. But with this, it feels completely different.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not, I'll watch it, because it's Star Wars, but that's about as far as that goes.
Yeah. I want to like it.
Mm.
But I also want to believe in aliens and ghosts.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I am. Just right there. I want to. Okay, so let's go to the next story here. Have you watched any of these yet?
I have not. I actually didn't even know that was a thing. I mean, I had seen Alvin Johnson post that he was on this, and
yeah,
I didn't realize that it already premiered. Otherwise, I would have seen it.
So there's a new Star Wars series called Our Star Wars Stories, and I have nearly broken down and cried in both of them. I've watched so far. There's something about Star Wars that it gets me like right in the heart, and I can't help but react emotionally to it. His is the first episode, and it focuses, of course, around his beautiful daughter and the loss of their daughter and how he turned that horrible, horrible experience into something really wonderful and service to the legacy of Star Wars and the fans in honoring the memory of his daughter. Of course, you see
that story of Katie, man, that always gets me. Like, I mean, that's one of the first things you're inundated with when you join the 501st. But God, every time I hear it, it's just fucks me up.
And it's just heavy. Like, and every single one of these, not all of them have the impact of, the sheer devastation of losing a family member because of it. But all of the stories about their connection with Star Wars, how it's informed their life choices, and their continued connection to not only the Star Wars community, but I have a freaking gnat flying around me. It's my wine. Every time I have a glass of wine, there's like a gnat that somehow breaks into my house and tries to hunt my fucking, like, where's the fruit? I can smell it. Sorry, wild tangents. They all have this weird connection. So I haven't seen this episode yet because it hasn't been released. I know this gentleman. I haven't seen this episode released or this one. But this one right here, she's a scientist. And she was informed to become a scientist because of Star Wars. And even the idea of, I followed my life path as a doctor or a scientist because of Star Wars. I was misty-eyed. Like, I couldn't help it.
Yeah.
Because I share that connection with this thing that is Star Wars that is so much deeper than a stupid book or a stupid movie or a stupid comic or a stupid toy. There's like an emotional vein that taps into the greater zeitgeist of our human experience.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, man. If you haven't had a chance to watch them yet, I highly recommend it. And pay close attention to the Star Wars YouTube channel because that's where they come out. It gets me every goddamn time. Just like when you pulled out that stupid fucking Rancor and I almost started crying right before we went on air. I couldn't help it. It's the connection of this damn universe.
It takes you back to a time when shit was simple and amazing.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what it is for me.
Where there was actual real magic. Like the Force and just that universal connection of people.
It just makes sense. You're like, oh, okay, that's totally a thing. Mm-hmm. Why can't I have that?
Loved it so much. Oh, I just love it. So that's a great thing that's happening. So let's talk about little books and comics. There's a whole bunch of new titles that were released in New York Comic Con this past week. Be More Vader, which is an interesting approach. I love the idea that they're stripping away the evil side of it and just saying, no, it's more about assertive thinking.
Yeah.
Asserting yourself. Yeah. And then mindfulness, which I think is just so wonderful. This is the thing about Star Wars, is that you can take these crazy little stories and apply them to every single aspect of life.
Oh, yeah. I have had legit religious discussions with people of different faiths by putting it into the context of Star Wars. It's the funniest fucking thing.
It's wild. It is just so wild. I'm super excited for Thrawn adaptations in comics, and this is going to be a whole bunch of comics coming up. I don't get the young, like, I just don't buy into the young adult stuff, but I'm glad that it's there.
I don't anymore. Back in the day, like, the novels were pretty good because they were young adults, but it still felt like Star Wars. Now shit just feels like it's way too catering to base not intelligent people. It just dumb it down.
Yeah. This book, however, Women of the Galaxy, I'm really excited for. First of all, I'm just an art fanatic, just like you are. If anyone's ever walked into Cameron's house, it's just like a fucking gallery.
I might have an art or two in my
an art or two. He definitely has an art or two. This book is one of those where it just focuses on art pieces of different females in the Star Wars galaxy. Good or bad, doesn't matter.
No, and I'm fucking excited.
And I love this. This came out after The Last Jedi, and we had a massive assault on the Star Wars community from within the Star Wars community, but also from, which has been recently discovered, Russian bots, which is a strange thing to attach to Star Wars, but
yeah,
whatever. They attach to everything else, so why not? Any way to divide a population, I guess. They find popular cultural things and try to divide the populace with that
fucking
thing.
Skynet, man. Fucking Skynet.
It really does kind of start to feel like it. But this one I'm really excited for. Growing up as a young man, I was primarily raised by women. I had 3 older sisters. I had a mom. I don't know if you knew about this.
Oh, fucking
I did in fact have a mother.
That's cool.
And so I always, like the idea of periods was not a scary, gross thing to me. It was just a way of life that I had to deal with as a young man. Women teaching me how to treat other women was a regular thing. So I never had that, I just want to fuck a girl and just be done with it. No, I dance with the ugly girls because they have feelings and they want to fucking dance. That's just how I was raised. And so I never thought I was attacked by my male friends, what I thought were friends, because I was a friend with this girl who they said was ugly and I shouldn't talk to, because that's how I was raised, and I got beaten up because of it. That's the women that raised me. And so when we see stuff like The Last Jedi or The Force Awakens and it has an empowered female character, I harken back to Star Wars with Princess fucking Leia. I harken back to my family. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, women are always more powerful. Everybody fucking knows this anyways.
We
just pretend.
They literally create life. There is nothing more godly than delivering a child. So I just don't understand the fucking animosity that some guys have for empowered female characters.
They got small dicks and they don't get laid. That's about all. Yes.
I have a small dick, but I get laid, so that's the difference.
Yeah. Actually, I should hate strong women. I got a small dick and I don't get laid. So fuck. I don't know.
You need to switch your team up, man. Get your head in the game, bro. Dude, bro.
Yeah. Stuff and man things. I don't know.
You need to fucking chug some beers, bro.
Totally do.
Whatever fucking those guys do. So some of these images, this is a series of different types of artists. Ray Sloan. Is this Ray? No, this is the Battlefront 2 woman, right?
I'm
so terrible.
Right,
hold on, I'm gonna pull it up too. See, sorry people, we plan, but we don't plan well.
I would say no.
This is Sienna Ray by Geneva Bowers. So I'm not familiar with Sienna Ray.
Yeah, so no, that's I believe it's one of the comic book characters.
Okay.
Or it might actually be one of the TIE pilots, because the TIE pilots in the film were actually women, just to give that extra stature to Dave Prowse. They were so tiny because they were female.
I did not know that.
So yeah, that might actually be one of the original TIE pilots.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
I just love that.
I educate, yes.
You educate us. Thank you, sir. Why is this not? Oh shit! I'm fucking this up. Okay, here we go. Oh, I love me some Infus Nest so goddamn much. I love this character so much. I don't know of any character that's like a B character, in a plot, in a movie, that has as much alluded to lore as this character does.
I was first seen, you're building a huge backstory behind her.
Mm-hmm. She's an immediate threat to the Crimson Dawn. Like, that's alone, that is amazing. And then you find out that she took the armor over from her mom, which gives this weird Jango Fett, Boba Fett almost connection. Like, oh my gosh, it's like a hereditary thing. But then you start thinking like, well, I don't want to presume. I start thinking of, this is going to show how geeky I am, of the Princess Bride with the Dread Pirate Roberts. I straight up took that approach to it. I was just like, oh my god, she took on the mantle from the Dread Pirate Roberts. There is no there is no Enfys Nest. It's just passed along to the next person to carry on the legacy.
I can see it.
Oh, I'm just so excited. Now I want to watch Princess Bride.
It's sort of that in the novelization of Solo too, anyways.
Yeah. So good. Just so goddamn good. I love that character so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, we have a little bit of Rogue One here.
Yeah.
I loved Rogue One, and I love me some Jyn Erso.
And I'm glad you remember the movie now.
I have no defense for that. No defense at all. I'm getting old, and I'm hurting myself, and I'm stupid. So
see,
I
there
apologize.
You go. That's defense right there.
I love Jyn Erso not only because it was a good story, and it was an empowered female character, and she was a part of the living force manifesting itself in the greater Star Wars story that I love so desperately much. But she was also a character in my favorite Halloween childhood movie of all time, The Worst Witch. Like, she was the best friend of the Worst Witch.
Fuck, I need to watch that shit again.
Oh,
I
dude.
don't.
That was her.
I probably shouldn't watch that again.
You totally should watch that again.
I should totally watch it again.
Every year. Every year I watch it. I love it so much. Oh, yeah. So anyway, I just love these. I love the artwork differences in Phasma. Like, we've talked about Phasma a lot, and we only have a little bit to talk about her with as far as like canon references. We have the first two sequel films where she sort of just cameos in, but then we have the novel where she's a feature in, and she's like a super badass. I just love seeing her in any form at all.
Just so striking.
Yeah, just so great. But we also have Darth Vader. This is the closing episode of the Darth Vader, that the much championed by all Star Wars comic reading fans. This has built up lore about Darth Vader more than anyone else. I'm sorry, any other format of its time. It's given.
And it's nice because since it's the last one, that means that I can just buy the trade paperback.
See, and I am waiting for like the complete annual collection type thing. But it talks way back about his experience with being a minion of the Emperor, to managing the Inquisitors, to hunting down Last Jedis, to forcing oh sweet fucking hell, he managed the Death Star.
Tarkin?
Yeah, sorry. Tarkin, like challenging Tarkin to hunt him down and kill him.
No shit.
Yeah, and tapping into ancient Sith in order to build his castle. Like, this series has done amazing things. And so, like, part of what I love about the Sith is that it has this rich, dark history to it, this idea of sinister and evil essence. Palpatine broke through all of that by being a master of Sith alchemy. So not only is he a dark force master, he brought a side of the dark force that we had never been introduced to before. The alchemy side of it, which tapped into my love of fantasy and magic. And then his imparting that knowledge to my favorite villain of all time, Darth Vader, and to see the struggle of this truly relatable and unrelatable horror figure, tragic figure, to see him use the same knowledge and tap into this ancient heritage of force use. I don't know. There's something primal and ancient and arcane about it that I just love so damn much. And to know that that's where the castle came from, and to imagine what we're going to learn in future installments of Star Wars lore, is so thrilling to me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God damn it, I love it so much. Anyway, I'm excited for that. I don't know, seeing Han Solo in. We're looking at here's the thing. For those of you who listen to the podcast in audio format and not see it in video, we're showing images right now, and so we're reacting to the images that we're showing. So if we're jumping around in the audio stuff, well, that's why. This is
watch live.
Yeah, you totally should watch live. Totally. I don't know if I need to see Han Solo in a comic about his Imperial time being a goof off.
The novelization gave me all I needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Between the novelization and the film, I feel I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good with Solo. I'm really excited for this, though. So this is a series of comics built on different ages, focusing on different heroes in that age, and single stories within those heroes or villains' lives. So we have the Age of Republic, Age of Rebellion, and Age of Resistance. And this sort of informs the way, of course, it's the prequels, original and sequel trilogy. But it's the way it seems that Disney is moving forward, where they are sort of putting boundaries on these different ages, and each age has its own tone. And so I'm interested to find out how they approach that concept in comic form. So, for example, in the prequel era, we've got, of course, Kenobi, Maul, and Qui-Gon Jinn, which is, I think, the highlight of The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, of course.
Period. That final battle alone, Duel of the Fates, is so amazing, not only as a musical score, but as the action surrounding it. I don't know. I don't know that they're ever going to shine any new light on these characters, but it will be nice re-exploring these moments with them. Mm-hmm. Do you think they'll ever, they'll break new ground? They tap into this for the Qui-Gon Jinn one, this is something that, George Lucas wanted to explain how forced ghosts and living forever within the living force existed. So his bridge to that was Qui-Gon Jinn, which was a really shitty introduction. Yoda was just your old master learned how to do this. And there was no real explanation until the Clone Wars. Do you think they'll use these comics as a way, like they have with the Darth Vader ones, of really tapping into ancient history as far as canon is concerned, to explore that idea?
I'm sure they would. I mean, there's a lot more freedom with that. I mean, just story alone, they can do whatever the hell they want on an easy budget that they couldn't with the films. I really hope they do, because, especially with Qui-Gon Jinn, that's a character that is fucking amazing that we really don't have very much about. Yeah. I mean, outside of just, a few books in the now canon timeline. But then it's still just a couple of stories here and there. Mm-hmm. So I really hope they do.
He was a character that introduced us first to the idea that a Jedi could be a part of the council and still not agree with the council. Mm-hmm. That's a weird idea, especially if you're coming into Jedi lore. If you've never read any of the Old Republic stuff, which is full of that stuff, you've only experienced, this is what Jedi were. They were the guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy for the past 1,000 years. They always do the right thing. They're sort of the knights in shining armor of any fantasy story. And then you meet this one who doesn't agree with the other good knights of the galaxy and kind of does his own thing, but he's still a good guy.
Yeah.
And he learns something that
he's the explorer.
Yeah, and no one else can tap into what he's actually tapped into. I'm really interested to see where they go with this, because they could go in some really crazy, cool, deep canon stuff, or they could keep it light and kind of stupid.
I think that's where they'll go. But
I hope not.
I would start picking up comics religiously again if that was the case.
Yeah, that's true. But knowing that this is just a series devoted to, I don't know that they'll do more than Qui-Gon Jinn episode 1 or, number 1. I don't know that they've actually announced how many of each of these heroes or villains they're going to dive into in each age. But I think it's pretty exclusive, maybe a trilogy or something. Age of Rebellion, of course, we have Princess Leia. Is there more that we need to know about what she's done, who she's been? Like, we have her novel. We have her in all of the movies. Like, what else can we know about her?
I mean, there's always got to be something. I mean, let's see, what is she wearing right now? She's in her Hoth getup.
Right.
I mean, maybe. Well, I guess it's not really.
That's Cloud City, though,
Hoth.
right?
Is that Cloud?
Well, she's got an E11 blaster, and she picked that up in Cloud City, right?
Possibly. I don't know. I'm looking at fuzzy pictures.
Oh,
I'm trying to look at camera. But anyways, yeah, that was going to be something else.
Yeah.
I mean, like with the novel, The Princess of Alderaan, they think, whatever, it's just going to be a little backstory before she became, who she is. And I mean, they could have turned that shit into a trilogy, and
that's so true.
Every single page. So they're just a character they could always bring more stories in, and it'll always be great.
Okay, well, you turned me around because I was like, meh, but now that's a really good point. Leia, the novel, was amazing. Mm-hmm. I mean, political. It was an adventure story. It was a sort of like sneaking around scoundrel prequel to what her life would turn into. Like, it was actually really good. So, okay, you got me. I'm excited. I don't know what they could talk about Darth Vader that they haven't covered in the original Star Wars series, the new Marvel Star Wars series, the first Star Wars Darth Vader series, and then the current that they're just ending with now, new Vader series. Like, what else are they going to bring to the table about this character that's, like, new?
Yeah, who knows? Who cares? It's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Just give me more.
It's true. So let's talk about Shadows of Vader, because this is a series that was originally led by Chuck Wendig until recently, who is, in my opinion, along with Claudia Gray, one of the best Star Wars novelists currently writing. Mm-hmm. He did the Aftermath series, which I thought was brilliant, that I'm pissed that the freaking writers of the movies never tapped for story content.
Fuck, I know. Well, even like the current television series, like when they're talking about, oh yeah, he was there at the Battle of Jakku and their pictures. It's like, no, the end of that fucking book, it's just down. Nobody's happy. It's over.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. Not even gonna go off on that tangent.
But I just genuinely think he was a really great writer. I mean, it was a little jarring at first to get used to his style, but with any author, you need to find their style and then learn how to read through their style. And his was another one that it took me a little bit, but then I dug it. And he brought a conclusion to a character that was Jar Jar Binks, mocked by everyone.
Fucking, oh my God. Yeah.
So upset. I loved how they did the conclusion to that character after everything, after all the shit that actor took and still takes to this day, that portrayed Jar Jar. Like, he gave justice to that character, as I kind of feel like Star Wars Clone Wars, and he wasn't in Rebels, but I don't think he was. Memory's searching here. But I liked his inclusion in Clone Wars and stuff. But yeah, it was Aftermath novels that really made me feel like that's okay. I feel better about Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I'm on bandwagon now.
Yeah.
After that book.
So he was fired during the Last Jedi Backlash, he was standing up for Star Wars creators, and he was using regular human being language.
Really?
Talking down to people on Twitter and, saying you're fucking crazy. This, he's just sort of attacking people back that were attacking the Star Wars creators. Mm-hmm. And as he was in the production phase of these comics, and this just happened in the past couple days, he was called by the editor of these comics saying, look, we're going to let you go because in your Twitter feed, you are inciting violence and division amongst the Star Wars community. And so he was fired.
That's so
Chuck Wendig
ridiculous.
Was fired from these comics. Like, the guy who I loved every possibility story thread that he created in the Star Wars world was fired because he was defending himself against not only like Russian hackers, which is now proven, but also the divided community. Like, if you're a content creator, of course you're going to defend yourself, and you're going to defend yourself in the vein of the type of human being that you are. I just don't understand it. He didn't say anything that was sexist or misogynist or attacked a minority or anything like that. It was all about defending Star Wars and his creation and other creators.
That's so fucking stupid.
And Disney folded. Like, they straight up fucking folded. And it's just, you're giving in to the bad guys when you do this stuff. It drives me nuts.
That's fucking censorship at its finest.
So who knows where this series is going to end up, but I was looking forward to it. I love this sequence on Cloud City. Fucking captures Solo and Leia. Oh, and Chewie. Oh, I just love that so much. Okay, and then some more, young adventure stuff. Meh. All right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan and Anakin. I don't know. I don't necessarily need to hear any more about them. I do love
Choose Your Destiny books. I mean, that's
I was going to say.
first time.
I do love choose your own adventure type stories, so that's kind of cool. Yeah. And this, I give a fuck. I don't.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, where the hell does BB-8 come in? I mean,
yeah.
He's got both normal arms. I mean.
And then
I'd buy it if it explained why he got the red arm, because we still don't fucking know.
Well, there was a comic about that.
Oh, there was?
Yeah.
No, never mind.
Yeah.
Fuck this book.
It was an homage to a droid that sacrificed himself for his other droids. So he took that droid's arm and wore it for a while. It was I don't know. I feel like it was like, well, we have to explain it, so let's create a story to explain it type thing. Yeah. Which, meh. But I don't know. And Who's Who in the Galaxy, I kind of wish they just went with film stills rather than...
yeah, that doesn't make sense. What would be illustrations?
I don't get it. I don't know. We have enough cartoony stuff. Let's get some... Yeah. Go back to the original Star Wars books. This, I'm kind of excited for.
Fuck yeah. I'm definitely stoked.
Because this is Claudia Gray, who did such a wonderful job in so many Star Wars novels so far. I'm in. She did Bloodline. Oh, yeah. She did Lost Stars. She is such a wonderful writer in the Star Wars universe. To imagine what she can do with Qui-Gon Jinn, and I'm hoping she explores him, just like we were talking about with that comic. God, this is the place to do it. Obi-Wan, what I loved about Obi-Wan was his sort of like wise old man on the mountain in the original trilogy, but then we got to see some frailty in the Clone Wars series, and his insistence on following the Jedi way of life, even though he did deeply love that Mandalorian Duchess. I loved that so much. Like he wanted to be with this individual, but he couldn't because he was a devoted member of the Jedi Council and the Jedi way of life. Like, there's something about that character that is just brilliant perfection, I want to see him frail. And I think this is the place to see it, to break that. And then Alphabet Squadron, this is Resistance fighters fighting or searching down the remnants of the Empire. I think it is the Empire. I don't know. I'm kind of not really into the modern current sequel trilogy age. I don't know. I'm trying. I want to. Yeah. I'm hoping the new movie turns it around.
I just hope that it sort of is along the lines of like the X-Wing series was.
Right.
Like, if they could make it something like that, I'll read it.
That was huge. That was big. That brought a lot of legend Star Wars fans back. It wasn't focused on crazy world-destroying, powerful machines or.
Well, it kind of was.
Okay, well,
some of them. At least the original series until it started splitting off into just solo books, but yeah.
But it's something different, and hopefully this falls in that vein. That'd be really kind of cool. Again, the cover art's not final, so that's all we got. Oh shit! Sorry guys, I'm clicking on the wrong thing here. Why isn't it working? There we go. I'm excited for this.
Me too. Holy shit!
I don't even have the technology to do it, but I'm excited for it.
I'm honestly tempted to get. Like, I've already got an Oculus.
Oh, really?
But I don't have. Yeah, it's alright. But I don't have one for my new phone, which, assuming I'd have to get for the new. Oh God, what is it?
I thought it was a computer device. I didn't know it was a phone device.
No, at least like my Oculus, like you pop your phone and it's just those little VR headsets.
Oh.
Comes with controllers and shit. But yeah, that's essentially what this is. And did you watch the video about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy shit. I'm just.
So the premise that they've teased us is that you are a character that has been summoned to Darth Vader's castle. And that's kind of all we know, right?
Yeah, and basically you're sort of an agent of his, where you have to uncover mysteries in his castle.
But it does show a first-person perspective of him attacking you and you defending with a lightsaber. So, like,
wait, really? I didn't see that.
Wasn't that? Okay, I may be making shit up. I know I saw a series of a sequence of him attacking the viewer, like the player.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that one.
Oh, dude.
I was just watching the interview, so that very well may be it.
So there is a teaser trailer released with it as well. This, again, we're going back to Vader's castle. This is some legend type stuff that was introduced in like the Jedi Knight video game series back in the day that was brought into the canon from Star Wars Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, which was such an exciting and dark and mysterious and scary thing. And then again, the Darth Vader comic brought Sith ancient mastery into why it was built, where it was built, and how it was built in the sort of tuning fork manner. I want to know more about this so desperately bad.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the great thing is, too, like, a lot of the interior of the castle in the experience, it's actual 3D scans from the set itself.
Yes.
So you're literally stepping foot on the set of Vader's castle on Mustafar.
So cool. So
and just that alone, like, I could just stand there and just do this for hours and be fine.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so good. I'm really excited for that. So the story, as the notes say, takes place between episode 3 and 4, which is Rebellion era. Kind of excited for that because this is him hunting down Jedi. This is him collecting artifacts and maybe even apprentices in order to overthrow the current, dynamic he has between master and apprentice with the Emperor. We may even see a little bit of other Inquisitors because this is the era.
Yeah.
So who knows?
That's sweet.
I mean, it's just ripe with story. And I would love to, and I don't think we will, but again, my favorite parts of the Emperor is his Sith alchemy side of himself. I would love to see Darth Vader tapping into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that he ever would because he's very much more of like a fucking enforcer, executioner type character. But if he ever did tap into that ancient lore, trying to find ways of bringing back Padme maybe, or extending his own life, or maybe just overthrowing the Emperor, I would love to see that. That's what I loved about the Force Unleashed so much is, his active attempts at trying to find someone to join him to overthrow the Emperor.
Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah.
Super fucking cool. And just these stills. I mean, god damn it.
Gorgeous.
You just love it so much. I love me some Darth Vader. This excited me to no end.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to bring me back to that game.
So I have never played Galaxy Heroes. It's a mobile sort of, I think it's just like a, collect your heroes and attack other teams of heroes and villains type
Pretty
game.
much.
But the fact that they're bringing in Jedi Knight Revan means that that's now canon, which wasn't canon before. Yeah, it totally does. They don't. This is all through Star Wars, Marvel, and Disney. Like, this is.
Wait, that means Nihilus is canon now. Because that's already picked up the game because Nihilus was in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So if they're bringing this out and they're talking about making some connections with the loved Knights of the Old Republic series, they're bringing that back into canon. So is this the Benioff and Weiss series that they've been talking about? Are they gonna actually tap into the Old Republic more? If they're teasing it through little games like this, then there has to be something on the horizon.
That'd be so amazing.
I'm so excited. I don't even care about this stupid fucking game. I love the implications of this addition to the game.
Yeah, I hadn't even, honestly.
Again, this is speculation,
of course,
conjecture. I thought that they would tap on the story group with The Last Jedi, and they clearly didn't, so maybe they're not in this either. Mm-hmm. But hopefully, fingers crossed. And then just a little bit of goofy fun, Project Porg, another VR experience with the Oculus, I think. ILX Labs is doing it, whatever the case. And it's like, that sort of pet game where you raise a pet, teach it tricks, and you get to check in on the pet. Except in this case, it's Porgs. I don't know. I never really got into Porgs myself.
I did. I don't give a fuck.
Porg! Whatever. I mean, it's fun. Who cares? It's Star Wars fun. This is cool.
Yes, it is. Oh my god. I wish I had room in my office for it. The Amazon exclusive Mustafar Castle. In over 1,000 pieces. This looks like so much fun.
How big is that? 1,000 pieces?
Big.
Does it show you? Does it show you the inside? Do you think?
Yeah, it does. If you actually go on the link, it does give you glimpses of the inside. It shows you the minifigures that come with it. I'm trying to remember. Obviously, Vader. There's some Rogue Guards, if I remember correctly.
TIE Fighter.
And yeah, you get the TIE Fighter, so that's fucking dope. That's like the awesome, advanced TIE. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. I'm trying to figure out somewhere to put it because I really want it.
Yeah, I love that they're exploring this side of Darth Vader. I love that we're finally getting back to it. This was, again, like I was in the military station in Germany when the Jedi Knight series was really being released and played regularly. And there was a mission, if memory is serving me properly. Again, I feel old, so it could be faulty here. But we, assaulted Vader's castle, and we were, totally defeated. As a sort of first-person shooter Jedi Knight game. I love that they're going back to this setting. And with what they've laid down so far with the lore, it's so exciting to think what's under there. If they don't tap into this goddamn castle with Kylo Ren in the next movie, I'm going to be so pissed off.
Yeah.
Because it's out there. It's there. It's like a dark side treasure trove of fun. Fuck.
It would make sense because he's got such a wicked heart-on to be his grandpa. That's sort of a duh type of thing. Why the fuck wouldn't he go to his grandpa's place?
Well, he was in the first one, but the second one he wasn't so much. Get rid of that stupid mask. Man, fuck you.
Yeah.
I was so excited about that mask, and then they just made it into a fucking joke.
Yeah.
So yeah, awesome little toy. I love this stuff. I love that it exists. I don't buy Lego stuff, but I love that it's there. Why can't I? There we go. This one I'll never buy, but I love that it exists as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm fucking getting it.
So crazy cool. You got the Cloud Rider, freaking speeder bike, Enfys Nest on her swoop bike. I just want to go back and forth.
Yeah, I absolutely adore it. Especially the details, because, the Black Series, it's always killer to get. But, yeah, those details of that swoop racer, it's fucking gorgeous.
So
just
cool.
Beautiful all around.
So cool. And I can't emphasize enough how badass our first introduction to Enfys Nest and her fighting style was in Solo. You were just immediately, this is a bad motherfucker. Holy shit. It was so cool. I just loved it so much. Yeah, and that's it for this show. We've
good way to end.
We've gone past an hour. Talked about Star Wars, geeked out. I love doing this show with you, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
So much fun. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you all for tuning in. You can always subscribe to the YouTube channel and click that little bell icon to be notified about when our next show is happening, what it's going to be about, etc. Join us live in the chat room and interact with us on these stories. We want to hear what you think about not only the news bits that we're talking about, but also the regular shows. What do you think about the lore, where Star Wars is with canon and stuff? We love to geek out just as much as you guys do, so join us and let's geek out together.
Hell yeah.
Be sure to let us know what you think about the content in the comments below and what topics you would like us to cover. And of course, at the top of the regular monthly shows, you can always send us your I am a Scruffy Looking Nerf Herder videos. What email address, Cameron, do they send those to?
That'd be theinfernalbrotherhood@gmail.com.
Hell yeah. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and until we can speak together again, may the Force be with you.
I don't know. Like,
yeah! We just have to have a toy fight for an outro now. Like get little toys and have a little battle.
I'm down.
Dude, let's do that.